If you've ever seen the movie Jurassic Park, they had pulled some DNA from a mosquito out of that was stuck in amber, and they made all these little clones of dinosaurs and whatnot using some frog DNA on top of it. What was really interesting about that is the fact is we're actually doing that now. To a point. An Australian scientist had broke new ground by taking some embryonic cells from a frog that had been extinct, that had been declared extinct back in 1983. It says here the stomach cell, it says a somatic cell nuclear transfer, a technique for creating cloned embryos. Now this particular frog, what it does after it lays its eggs, it sticks it all into the mouth, and then when the babies are born, they come right out the mouth, which is a little disgusting and kind of cool at the same time.
That's how I was born.
Lucky you, Joe. I was found under a rock.
That's what they told my brother.
This particular frog was called the I'm going to murder how to pronounce this. The Rio Barturus Silas frog. That is a really interesting name. How the fact that they were able to do this, I mean, it's just really amazing. Unfortunately, the cells didn't come to fruition, but at least it gives us a start of how we're going to move into the cloning process. They said it's not a biological issue right now. It's a more technological problem that we have to overcome. Joe, your thoughts?
Yeah, this project is appropriate named Lazarus. Which
Lazarus.
Is the guy,
Lazarus.
Yeah, Lazarus, yeah. What I said.
You said
Lazarus.
You said Lazarus. It sounds kind of sexy that way, though.
Right. Well, you know, as we all know, Lazarus is the guy in the Book of John,
right?
That was mythologically raised from the dead.
Mm-hmm.
And here we have science raising cells from an extinct frog using frozen tissue prior to the frog's extinction and eggs from a related species. So while the experiment didn't produce a living frog, it did produce living cells from the embryos. So now they can try again.
Right.
And you know, they're very optimistic about this. And as you mentioned, they're saying that they're not limited by the technology but by the biology.
Right.
I think that this
actually
is
it's the reverse. They're limited by the technology, not the biology.
Right.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
Isn't that what I said?
I thought you said they were limited by the biology, not the technology.
Oh, my mistake.
That's right.
But yeah. But yeah, I mean, this is just an important first step to actually bringing about Jurassic Park, like you mentioned, because we need dinosaurs now.
You know, if we do bring back dinosaurs like this, you know, like they did in the movie, then Ken Ham can be correct.
They could put actual dinosaurs in the Creation Museum.
Yeah, watch them find out why they don't. Why living together with dinosaurs was really a bad idea. Crystal, your thoughts?
I think it's pretty cool. She spits them out of her mouth. That's got to be a lot less painful than what I went through 2 times.
I was witness to both my children's birth. I completely agree. That's something I wouldn't wish on anybody, but it's just our biology, unfortunately.
It is. But I mean, it was really cool because that tissue was gathered in the 70s and it just was in deep freeze, and for them to be able to literally resurrect this using a cousin species of this frog is fascinating.
Yes.
I don't know how much more I can add to that. It's just this is just around the corner, and it's going to open so many more doors as far as what we're going to be able to do. I think medically for people, and to help folks that need cells and hearts and lungs and legs. And that's just inspiring.
Yes, it is.
You could say science for the win.
Yes, I would say science for the win. Alex, our special guest here, what are your thoughts on this?
Well, with a lot of these sort of cloning things, because when I was like 5, kind of the thought was, hey, we could clone mammoths one day, and now we're getting there, which is pretty cool. My thought on this is kind of like, okay, why one species in particular? Like when you're going for the research grant, it's like, we want to resurrect this animal, and they're going to say, like, okay, why not, this one? I mean, not that this isn't a really cool idea of an animal to resurrect.
Right.
But I just kind of, I'm wondering, like, I don't know, how does the application process work with that?
Wow.
And I think obviously this is very important because it does show us sort of the bounds of what we can do and what life can do. It can survive, being frozen for that long and then still provide fairly reliable or fairly viable cells, which is very good to know.
Yes.
And it also kind of gets into, okay, what does it mean to say that a species is extinct if we can just resurrect them whenever we want?
Oh, now that's an interesting thought. Will the word extinction really mean anything for future animals if we can bring them back?
Yeah, I mean, if we don't have their DNA, then yeah, sure, they're extinct.
Oh,
but,
yeah.
like, recently extinct? Maybe not so much.
Yeah, especially if we have their DNA cells on tap, as it were.
Yeah.